Welcome back to the Show Me Jeff channel. My name is Jeff, and today's topic is going to be direct mail law of large numbers. So I was watching a video today from Russ Fye's YouTube channel, and incidentally, I'm going to start putting these YouTube channels in the description so that you can go and you can get another point of view. However, if you're joining me from a postcard or an email that I had sent out, and this is your first exposure to this, I'd appreciate it you signing up with me. But I'm putting this out there so that you have more than one person that you can listen to. People like Russ and Eric Goodlife Johnson and Timothy Thomas and a few others that are out there. They are having tremendous success, and they're further along in the journey. But I want to give you that opportunity to see, if you haven't already been exposed to these individuals, how other people are doing the business. Because yesterday we talked about faith, and it's hard sometimes to be able to keep mailing and keep doing this type of business, and you don't have anything to show for it. So faith really comes from believing and like seeing what other people are doing, and then saying, hey, if this person can do it, then it's possible for me to do it, which leads into the law of large numbers, and that's the topic of today's video. So on Russ's channel today, he had featured, he made a video about a comment that he had received about somebody who had signed up and had mailed 200 postcards and didn't make any money. Well, I don't know all the specifics of this particular person's situation, but Russ was saying that's just not realistic to think that you can be successful sending out 200 postcards and then saying, hey, it doesn't work, I didn't make any money. So the law of large numbers, think of it like this. If you were doing like a poll, like you have these different polls, these people who do these opinion polls, like political polls, or who would you vote for in the next election, they don't just call 10 people, right? Because the sample size would not be enough. If you just called 10 people and asked 10 people how they were voting, or what their position on a particular issue was or is, it wouldn't work. I mean, the sample size is not large enough. You would not have enough data to be able to say definitively that, okay, 60% of the people are for this issue, or 30% are, it's a 30% approval rating. A sample size of 10 is not enough. And it's the same thing with sending out letters and postcards. 200 is not enough. It's just not. So your first 200, if you send out 200 letters or postcards, you may not get any sales. You send out the second batch of 200 postcards or letters, you may not have any sales. You send out the next 200 letters, you might have 6 sales in that third tranche of mailing. You might have 6 signups. So, then your response rate would be 10%, right? I think, if my math is right, or 6%, whatever it is. You may not get any results from the first couple of mailings that you do, but it's the law of large numbers. It's that average out, because you send out a few emails, or you send out a few letters or postcards, and nobody signs up, and you think, oh well, this doesn't work. Well, you just didn't give it enough opportunity. So my way, and I talked to Russ about this, and had like a little bit of a game plan. I'm sending out, me personally, you could do more or you could do less. I'm sending out 15 letters a day. Every single day, I'm preparing 15 letters. That has 2 postcards, a letter, and a business card. And I'm going to soon have a third postcard for Instant Pay 24/7. But I'm going to have 3 postcards, a business card, a letter, and put that in the envelope and send that out. And I'm going to do that every single day, Sundays included. On Sundays, there's no mail on Sundays, so we just have double up on Monday. there's going to be 30 letters instead of 15 in my mailbox for the mailman. Um, I'm doing that every day. I'm going to do that every day, and I'm not going to even worry about the results or who signed up or anything. I'm going to give it 6 to 9 months. 6 to 9 months, and at between 6 and 9 months, I'm going to reassess where I am in 6 to 9 months. But I'm not going to send out mail for a month and then say, oh, I don't got any signups. This doesn't work, because you're quitting too soon. It's like that. It's like that story about the guy who went out digging in his backyard for diamonds, and he kept digging and digging and digging, and then he gave up. And then somebody else came along and bought the land, and they just digged a little bit more, and they got the diamonds. And the guy just gave up too early. There's some kind of story out there like that. But you gotta give this opportunity a fair chance. You can't just send to a couple of people, or even 200. 200 sounds like a lot, but really it's got to be a massive, undertaking. And now if you do 15 a day, that's 450 a month, and you give it a couple of months, and you do it for 6 months, and then at least 6 months, and then you can say, okay, then you can really come back, and that's like, okay, I can't afford to keep, at some point you have to turn it off. I get it. But sending out 200 postcards and then, say, oh, it didn't work. No, you didn't give it a fair chance. You just didn't, right? Let's just be perfectly honest. So keep that in mind. When these people are getting these letters and postcards, many of times they are not taking immediate action. If there's a drawback to doing the direct mail business, it's that a lot of people, there's a lot of waiting involved with this. It's not immediate gratification. You're going to be sending letters off. The postal service is slower these days, unfortunately, and a lot of times it might take a week or longer. Depends on where you're mailing to get to different parts of the country. And then there's a lot of people that have their mail. They only pick up their mail or only read their mail maybe once or twice, a week, and sometimes even longer. There are people who have post office boxes, and they might collect up all their mail maybe once or twice a month. I have a forwarding mail address that I use as my return address, because I don't want to put my home address on my labels, on my return labels, when I'm sending out mail. But this is a nice forwarding address. It's used by a lot of RV enthusiasts. People travel around in RVs, and they have all their mail sent to this place in Florida, in Green Cove Springs, Florida. And you can ask this company to forward your mail, once or twice a month. And that's what I do. I have that address, and I literally have an address where I will get the mail from this one place, once or twice a month. And so it could be a month before I get around to getting the mail from that one particular mail place. So, and that happens to a lot of people. And a lot of people will take your letters and postcards, they'll put it to the side, and they won't take any action on it. So I'm also doing another business, which is a sales type of business, and it's I'm not trying to get you into this other business. This channel is basically focused mostly on direct mail, but I do run ads for the sales business that I'm in, and this person had responded to my ad, left their information. I called them back, and they told me they're not interested. And they were actually upset that I had called them, because people are funny. This is just the way people operate. This is just, when you're dealing with people, this is what you can expect. So this person asked me to call them. I called them. They're upset that I had called them. They tell me, pretty curtly, pretty, not so nice, but not disrespectful either. They're not interested. So I'm like, okay. I take them off the list. I put, not interested in my CRM. And I think that's it. I'm never going to hear from this person again. Well, this person calls me up a week later and says they're interested once again because this person, um, unfortunately, has a debilitating disease, and they can know, they work manual labor their whole life. They're in their early 50s, and I can relate because I'm going to be in my mid 50s here soon. And they can't work the manual labor anymore because they've got this disease. And the person was like, I don't like being sold to. I personally don't like salespeople, and I don't like being sold to. But I don't, he's like, I don't like being poor either. I don't like not being able to take care of myself or my family, and I've got to do something. So he realizes he's coming to the quiet realization that he's got to make a change. He's got to do something different. He just can't keep on doing the same thing and expecting different results. So um, he is more receptive to taking another look. He called me back. This is absolutely true story. After telling me, called me and asked for information. I called him back. Tells me I'm not interested. Tells me he's not interested. Curtly, and then calls me back a week later and says, I'm interested in the business once again." So I sent him the information, and we'll see what happens with him. And I know he's going through a struggle because these type of businesses, whether it's sales or it's sending out postcards and relying on faith, and it's tough. You know um, for a lot of people, there's a lot of fear involved. People know there's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of bad actors out there, and a lot of people are just they tune out these opportunities because it's not familiar to them. It's something they never did before. But when the pain is great enough, people will move out of their comfort zone when the pain is great enough. And I was thinking about this guy who has this unfortunate situation. This poor guy, he can't do the manual labor anymore. But the Lord works in mysterious ways, and maybe by having this debilitating disease that affects his ability to work manual labor, he may be able to work. And if he got into this program that I'm in and worked it right, there are people who are making 6 and 7 figures with this. And he may wind up making, if he got into the program, decided to commit, and really work it hard, he could find himself making 6 or 7 figures annually. One of the videos that I really liked from Eric Goodlife Johnson is he has these unboxing videos, and he has these checks and cash that are sent to him, and he gets these checks and cash sent to him, and it's really quite entertaining to see. He has his kids involved, and they're like one video, he's got his nephew there, and it's just so delightful. The little boy, the little boy opens up the envelope, and there's a check in there, and he just goes $4,000, and that money would, for a lot of people, that would be life changing money. We're talking about there's a lot of people who don't even have $1,000 in the bank to handle an emergency. And Eric Goodlife Johnson travels the world. He's able to do things for people, and he's able to take care of people. And wouldn't you like to have that type of lifestyle? Wouldn't you like to live the good life like Eric Goodlife Johnson or Russ Fye? Yeah, I think I think you might. But you just can't mail 200 letters or postcards and say, "I didn't make any money. This don't work." No, you didn't work it enough. And it's one of those things, like, if you're going to do this, I mean, I would love for you to join me. I would love for you to sign up, because I'm going to get paid when you sign up. But I also will tell you to be completely honest with you. If you join and you don't have a commitment, do yourself a favor, don't join. I'm telling you, I might be shooting myself in the foot by saying this, but don't join unless you're completely committed, right? Because you're just going to be wasting your money. And I've done this myself. I'm guilty of this myself too. I've joined programs, paid the money, not did anything with it, and then later resented the fact that I paid the money and lost money and didn't make any money. But it's my own damn fault because I didn't do it, or I didn't do it enough. You can't have one foot on the dock and one foot on the boat. You either stay on the dock or you get on the boat. But a lot of people, they want to do what they say. They want the safety of the dock, but they also want to be on the boat. You can't do that. You know, if you're gonna join a postcard business or direct mail business, you got to send direct mail. You just can't do 200 and expect results. You might get lucky. Maybe that first batch of 200, you do get a few signups. That's entirely possible, but it's not likely. And again, that 200 that you send out, those people might be waiting 6 months. There's some people that wait. They keep the postcard right by their desk. And just like the guy that called me up after telling me no, he had a change of heart because he reevaluated his situation. He's like, I can't keep doing this. I was looking for a business opportunity. The guy called me back, and I told him I wasn't interested, but I needed that opportunity because I can't work the manual job anymore. And this is the kind of stuff that this is the kind of drama and situations that a lot of people are running across. They know they need to do something. They need to be bringing in some money, but people can't pay for stuff, and they don't have the money to buy into programs and not do anything with them. So people hesitate, and it's like, well, I don't want to join this unless I know it's going to work. But you won't know that it works unless you join, and then you also send out the gosh darn mail. You've got to send the mail out, and you got to send it out over a long period of time, and you got to send a sufficient amount of mail. How much that is, I don't know. I think that going and talking to Russ, 15 letters a day for 6 months. He says that sounds about right. That sounds, you should definitely be on the track to be getting paid with that type of output. But 200 letters, I don't know what the time span, how long they took to send out 200 letters. That's not going to cut it. And if they're just sending out postcards, your response rate with letters are a lot more because you're branding yourself and you're making yourself available and you're opening yourself up for questions, and people identify you as a real person. When you have postcards, you're basically anonymous, and you're just putting your stamp on the postcard and peel and stick label. And people are making money with just sending out postcards, doing it like that. People don't want to make YouTube videos or have an online presence or put their name or their picture on a letter like I do. That stuff is completely optional. We're just saying, if you listen to Russ, that's how he's like really improved his response rate, maybe about triple his response rate, because he is establishing himself and branding himself. But you can do just fine sending out the postcards. You just got to send out a whole lot more of them. But you're not going to be successful sending out just 200 postcards and say, oh, it don't work. Don't waste your time. And you're doing a disservice because you write these kind of comments, and somebody else is going to see that and like, this guy made this comment on this YouTube channel. He sent out 200 postcards and he said he didn't get paid, and this doesn't work. You can't listen to people like that. You got to watch Russ Fye. You got to watch Eric Goodlife Johnson. You got to watch Timothy Thomas. You got to watch this guy named Juan. They're doing just phenomenal. So I'm going to include those links in the description. So I hope this helps, and feel free to reach out if you want to talk about it. Right now I'm just getting started, and I'll be happy to work with you, accountability, partnering, coaching, whatever you need. But at some point I'm going to be charging for it because when you start doing well, you don't have the bandwidth to really handhold people. You could provide excellent customer service and answer questions, but as far as hand holding and accountability and really deep you know, um, deep analyzing your personal situation, you need coaching for that, and that requires the coach's time, and you got to pay for it. And when somebody's just getting started, um, they, you don't have the time to do that for everybody. You just don't. So that's another reason why that I would prefer you to join with me, because I do have more time to devote to people coming in, in the beginning. But at some point, when I get successful, when we become, like successful, like Russ, because Russ is very kind with his time, and he is generous with his time, but he does charge for his coaching services, and I pay for them. You can book a call with him. You can pay for a call, or you can buy his coaching service, and it's worth real money, because this is beyond like just general questions. If you have a 15-minute conversation with him, that's great. And a lot of people don't even have time for that. You know, when you're a super rock star and you're making 6, 7 figures, um, you may not want to you just don't have the time. There's no possible way that you can spend a whole bunch of time with a whole bunch of people. You're there to answer some basic questions, return a few emails, maybe call somebody, have a 15-minute chat. But if you need to deep dive, you got to pay for it. Someone like me, when you're first coming in, I'm there for you. I got more time, at least right now, as I'm recording this video, I have more time to devote for people. I can provide these services at no charge to you, but that won't always be the case. So all the more reason to work with me, because I'm on that journey, right? I'm on the journey with you, right? We all are on the journey. One of the things that when you buy these leads, all of these people are in the same universe of business opportunity and success seekers, entrepreneurs, success seekers, business opportunity seekers. We're all like in this universe. This is not the chiropractor down the road, or the school teacher, or people who are content with what they've got. It's that 3% of the population that's actively looking for business opportunities or promoting opportunities themselves. And this is the type of people that we want to market to. It's not your friends and family. It's not your Uncle Louie. It's business opportunity seekers. We're marketing to people who buy these types of programs all the time. And I'm receptive to this. And we're all in the same type of community of like-minded individuals, and that's what I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying is that you got to give it some time. You got to send the opportunities to the right people. Got to have that right mindset, and you can't quit. So that's all I've got for you today. If you have any questions, let me know. Reach out to me, and now I'll take you on a tour of ShowMeJeff.com. Thank you. So this is my Show Me Jeff webpage. It takes you to my link tree, which is ShowMeJeff.com. And I have several different opportunities I'd like to show you. The first one is the newest mailbox money program. It is called Instant Pay 24/7. So you simply put your name, email, and phone number in, and you'll be redirected to this page. What's great about this program is it will pay you instantly a $200 commission. They call it Instant Pay 247 because it's $247 to get started with this program. It is a little bit more money than the other two direct mail programs, but the commissions are also higher. So I would suggest if you're going to do just one of these and not all three of them, then I would suggest doing Instant Pay 24/7. And this is a one-time cost to get involved. You do have to pay for the postcards separately. So when you come on to this and you sign up, I can share with you some resources for getting postcards, but you do have to pay for the postcards separately. And you do have to pay for the leads separately. So keep that in mind. We have some really good resources to get discount leads and stamps from a particular source. You can inquire when you sign up for this, and basically you buy your stamps and they give you a bunch of leads for basically it's included in the price. I wouldn't say it's free, but they give you a bunch of leads with stamps. So basically, you're not going to run out of leads when you buy your stamps. So that's just one method. That's just one option that is currently available. So that's Instant Pay 24/7. The second one is Cash Building Systems Unlimited. It's got a similar landing page, but they go to different sites. This is a replicated website called My Capture Page. So both Instant Pay 24/7 and Cash Building Systems Unlimited have used My Capture Page. So you can go ahead and put your name and email address in, and it's the same deal. This Cash Building Systems Unlimited is a one-time cost. You can get started for $50. That includes 200 postcards and leads. 200 postcards and 200 leads are included with that $50. So that's an excellent deal, and that's a one-time cost to get involved. So that's a really good system, very low-cost system to get started, especially if you're on a budget. Direct mail opportunity number 3 is American Bill Money. This is also a replicated website that they run. And what's great about this is they've been in business for 22 plus years, and this is a $50 program per month. $50 gets you started with a starter package, but this particular opportunity is a subscription. You can cancel at any time, but what's great about doing this particular opportunity is you have the opportunity to earn residual income, which means you sign somebody up and they keep paying month after month until they cancel. And if they're making money, people aren't going to be canceling. So the people who cancel are the people who sign up and don't do anything. So don't let that be you. Stick with American Bill Money. This is also a $50 program, just like Cash Building Systems Unlimited. This particular program comes with the leads, but does not come with postcards. So you have to buy the postcards. I'm telling you about these two programs, the postcards, because when I purchased American Bill Money, I did not understand that the postcards weren't included, that the postcards were an additional cost, and I didn't mind that. It was just that it just took more time because it takes them some time to print the postcards out with your ID number on them. So I had to wait a few more days. I had to wait about another week or so before I could, put my letters together because I wanted to have both. I was promoting Cash Building Systems Unlimited and American Bill Money together, and I wanted to have both of those in the same envelope. So I had to wait a little longer. So to cut down on your wait time and to prevent disappointment, I'm just telling you, Instant Pay 24/7 does not include leads or postcards. Cash Building Systems Unlimited comes with postcards and leads, and American Bill Money just comes with leads. So I hope that makes sense. So if you do one, and if you have the funds, I strongly suggest, instead of just promoting one, why not do all three? Why not use the Russ method and put all of the 3 postcards in an envelope, in a number 10 envelope, with a business card and a letter that you create, and we can give you a template for that, and send these letters off. And then you're going to have a much higher response rate, and you have a chance to have people. Some people will join all 3 of your programs. So if you can swing it, that's what I would recommend that you do. Now, if you want to remain anonymous or you don't want to deal with anybody, there's a lot of people who are like that, and I totally get it, then just join one of these 3 opportunities and just mail out the postcards. Just take the peel and stick lead label, attach it to the postcard, and mail it out. And that's it. You don't have to. You can be completely anonymous and keep your name off of it, and just go about your business. All you got to do is really just affix the lead label to the postcard, put a stamp on it, and put it in the mailbox, and there you go. All right. So the next one is the paid per letter. This is the one where you make money. This is the one that I made $17,000 in 2024. Sending them out to billion-dollar corporations. They have to do this. There's a reason why. Um, I would just say go through the full presentation, see if this is right for you, and if it is, then you can get started making money sending out letters. This is a little bit different because this is not a direct mail per se. This is sending letters to corporations, um, but there's a reason why. This is not sending letters to business opportunity seekers or having them pay like an affiliate. There's nothing like that. This is completely different from the other three that I just showed you. So this is something that you can also take advantage of. All right. Being a benefits consultant, earning residual income, no license required. You can learn all about this particular business by clicking on this one right here, learning all about this company that's been in business for 32 years plus, and they have over 200,000 providers. They have a health benefits plan that's not insurance, no license required, for $39.95. It's unmatched. It's unbeatable. Like, for example, it includes a dental plan in that $39.95. 70% of the American population has no dental plan at all. So when they go to the dentist, they either pay full price or they don't go at all. And that's a shame. There's a lot of people who need to go to the dentist and they can't afford it. So this is a tremendous opportunity. That's just one facet of it. I don't want to spend too much time, but I would strongly suggest checking this out. This is a great sales opportunity. Sales is the highest paid profession in the world. Don't let the sales word scare you off. I do recommend this, and this is something that I work on every single day, and I'm seeing great results from this. I think this is going to just absolutely a fantastic program, and I'm really proud of this program. Okay, and Sparky AI, artificial intelligence. It's the future. Sparky AI calls leads for you. It promotes business opportunities for you. It's just insane what technology can do. So AI revolution is here. If in a couple of years, basically most jobs are going to be replaced. It's actually kind of scary because just the level of sophistication that artificial intelligence has. That's why I'm saying, okay, the postcard opportunities, the direct mail opportunities, I don't believe are going away. AI won't replace that. People are going to be gravitating toward opportunities like that because they're going to need some kind of side hustle because people's jobs are going away. A lot of jobs are going away. My Tesla drives itself. It's scary how sophisticated it is. So this Sparky AI calls people. It just calls people. It does emails. They got a whole system here. So you definitely want to get ahead of AI and not be behind it because there's a lot of people going to be left behind, and you don't want to be one of them. All right, so check that out. Sparky AI is very low cost to get involved with Sparky AI, and they have an income warranty where after a couple months, if you don't see progress, you stop paying, and they keep working on your behalf until they generate results for you. So that's Sparky AI. An all-in-one digital business. This is a great heart-centric company. They have a $25 a month funnel builder program, which is outstanding. And they've got a lot of good coaching, and they've got a lot of good financial literacy. They've got a lot of great programs. It's a very heart-centric company. They give you a lot of value for a very, very low price. So I definitely recommend checking out that. So on my Show Me Jeff page, there's an area. You can call me up here at 321-209-4422, or you can click this questions, reach out, and it has a web form. You can either call me or you can send me a message via this web form. And then finally, I have the latest YouTube video down here at the bottom. And that's all I got for you today. Thanks very much for checking out the ShowMeJeff.com website, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks.